That first scene.
Yes, Milk deserves an Academy Award for that.
God, she really does.
I know, holy shit.
Oh.
That girl, I hope she's not method acting.
I know.
Oh, we'll get into it. No, that's what I mean. That first scene, I was like, this episode is epic just because of that. Her acting in that scene was crazy. I love her now. Not that I didn't love her before. I love her more.
Yeah, I mean, she showed her range.
Anyway. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, oh, the range. She got the range.
Oh, God. I think there's something usable there.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to read some Patreon comments because I have to, so I was just queuing them up.
Oh, okay. Cheers, queers. What's on the big gay agenda today, Theora?
Today, we're back to discuss Girls episode 8 because we cannot help ourselves because that episode was epic. So we're going to talk about just that episode. That's how good it is.
It was a really good episode.
Oh my God. It was so good. So good. It was stupidly good. Like, starting off strong in the beginning and just kept getting better. So, like, what a fucking episode that was. So, we're here to just talk about episode 8 because it was so good.
Yes. Let's do it. Sorry.
Are you okay, Kaitlynn?
I am totally okay. I'm just so excited to talk about this episode that I can't even contain my excitement.
I can't even contain my excitement. You know who else is really excited or better be excited? Patreon. So I'm just going to give some love to our Patreon because that was kind of partially why we're here. Because we had some people on Patreon be like, I better get, oh wait, who is it? Mary L says, like, I better get an analysis on episode 8. Here we are, Mary, just for you. I saw that and I was like, oh man, I gotta write a blog. And then I was like, there's too much shit in here to write a blog. Kaitlynn, we're filming. So Mary, this is for you, mostly. Also, Ash, you so stunning, who was like, damn, this episode was long as fuck. The last one we did. Yeah. And then White Cat, who comes in with the ringer, who's like, I was also super excited to see how long this video is. And can you imagine if they broke this show down, it might rival Blank. You're right, White Cat. It would. Okay, it would. And to everyone out there, originally we were going to do week by week episodes of Girl Rules as it aired and just do each episode. But then, like, I was MIA for a while because of life. So we couldn't. So we're making up for it now because, as we anticipated, this is the type of show you need a podcast for because there's so much shit going on and it's amazing. So
there's so much going on.
Just wanted to give some love to Patreon and also Pooja, who's out there in the comments. Because everything you guys all said was all facts, and I will give some love to all of you. So thank you all. All right.
We see you. We love you. We hear you.
And we're here because of you, so enjoy. All right, where would you like to start with episode 8? Do you have any particular place?
Can we just start with the first scene?
The beginning. Okay.
The beginning.
So I'm just going to say it now. Give Milk an Academy Award for her acting in episode 8 and all of Girl Rules as Sasha, because holy shit, was that a masterclass in acting what she did. The whole episode, like, starts off like, oh my God, like, her acting was insanely good. Like, I'm so beyond impressed with her performance as Sasha. It's amazing.
Could see all of the emotions happening on her face.
All of them. She didn't say a goddamn word.
No. And like, not just all the emotions. She portrayed like the emotional damage that was happening to her character.
Ooh, watching the trauma happen in real time.
Oh my gosh. And like, just when you think it couldn't get worse, it got worse for her.
It was
and it's
awful.
exactly what I thought was going to happen.
Yeah,
and,
you called it. Some casting couch shit.
And I just, that guy was, I Raindrop Killer, where are you?
Real quick, shout out to casting for girls. You picked some creepy ass men to play these like pretentious, predatory photographer guys. Because there's two different ones we've seen in Sasha's plotline. Like, shout out to casting. You did a great job finding men who could play creepy ass men. So good job. Yay, casting for girl roles.
Woo!
All the castings on point.
We always got to give love to the behind the scenes people because you matter. And just it shows through the casting.
And I think the show is also a love letter to the crew, also, because they do make a point to be like, the crew matters. So I think some fed up crew people also were like poking the screenwriters and being like, can you like, and they're like, okay, yeah, yep, we love you all. Yeah, we're gonna write that in there. And I support that decision. That's some good propaganda I get behind. Yeah, okay. Anything you want to talk specifically about that scene other than Milk's god tier performance as Sasha?
Just that it's awful that it happened and that's what happens still today. Like, those types of things happen. Like, you would think that things would change, but there's a reason these stories are still being told. And I really hope, for the sake of everyone on that production, that this was not someone's real experience.
That's what I'm worried about.
For some reason, it just seems a little too real.
I know, I'm like, Milky method acting? I hope not. Women don't take method act, but I hope not. Because, wow, the trauma of that.
Please be okay. I just want to protect you all.
Ugh. All right. Let's actually talk about that whole thing, though, because I think that if I were Mary L on Patreon, if I was going to write a blog post about episode 8 specifically, I think my thesis would be the power of no and the power of saying it and not saying it, particularly not saying it. So, like, I think that that's the pervasive theme throughout the episode that really affects all the plots. But I'm going to start with Sasha and kind of go through the rest of them. So, because there's some foiling happening between Sasha and Prim, because that's what they do. So it always goes back to Prim. So let's start with Sasha. So, like, okay, in that scene, Sasha basically was in that room. and I brought it up in our first review of episode 1 through 7, where we were talking about what the trauma could be. And I was like, my question is like, did her manager put her up to this? That was my question. I'm like, did it just happen, or like, did Wonsen put her up to it? And like, she did. So that was confirmed. The evil was confirmed here. So, okay. So in this scene, basically, it starts before Sasha even gets into the room, okay? And there's some weird shit happening here where Wonsen is essentially talking Sasha into it, right? Into the horrible situation she's about to go in. And she's going on and on being like, this is your big break. Okay, this is somebody who's influential. And if you do what they say, then you'll be famous and we all win, right? Your mom will be happy. I'll be happy. Everyone's going to be happy. You just have to do what he says because he's that powerful. And if you notice during that scene when Wonsen is talking to her, Wonsen is not like looking at Sasha. Like, she looks a little jittery, like, and she's not really looking at Sasha. So my read on that is that this bitch knows that this is a creepy man, that she's about to send her. We don't know how old Sasha is. She could be a child. She might be a minor. We don't know. Into this room alone with this man. Wonsen knows. Okay, so she's trying to basically get in Sasha's malleable brain and be like, you have to do it. Like, it's your choice, but like, if you do it, everyone's going to be happy and proud of you. Right? And so she's trying to like make that argument. And then if you notice Sasha, I feel like she was traumatized before this moment, because like in that scene, Sasha doesn't seems like she's not present. Like, Wonsen has to be like, Sasha, before Sasha's like, what? Like, where are we? Like, she almost seems like she's disassociating from this moment. So I'm like, I feel like the trauma has been ratcheting up, like with Wonsen pushing her, And so she's like disassociating already before she even gets in the room with the creepy photographer. Did you notice that? I was like, she doesn't seem okay, and we haven't even gotten there yet.
I wonder if she was thinking if like this is something she even wants to begin with. Because like again, she's been doing it since the toothbrush commercial when she was younger.
Well,
so, like,
they say canonically she's been acting since she was 8. When she was 8 years old, that's when this all started. So we don't know how old she was with the toothbrush commercial, but like 8 years old is when she was started in the entertainment industry. And she's like in her 20s now.
Yeah. So I'm sure she's probably like, do I even want to keep doing this? But like probably being told by her mother, like, I'll be so proud of you if you do this, if you do that. So
does she have conversations with her mom? Like, I don't even know that her family, period, family. I don't know that her family talks to her. I think the middleman is one son, and like everything goes through the manager. And like, who knows what is or isn't going through the manager? Because the manager has a vested interest in Sasha performing and doing well because that's how she gets paid. Not a great babysitter. You know what I mean? Like the babysitter is like, I'm profiting off of you. So mom's gonna be so proud of. Who knows what mom is? And then the thing is, they keep putting it on her mother, but like, where's the rest of her family? Where's dad? Because mom has a step-husband, has a new husband. So where's dad? Where's her aunties? Where's grandma? Like, where's the rest of the family? Why is it just mom? Like, nobody is looking out for this girl. Nobody that's related to her. And then she's been pawned off on her manager, who's literally profiting off of her. So like, she's been preyed on since she was 8 years old.
Yeah, it's almost like a child should not be in the entertainment industry.
Almost, yeah. That would. It's almost like this.
But there definitely
horrible idea.
There needs to be a requirement, like there's someone hired to just look out for the well-being of a child.
I mean, is that not the manager who's technically supposed to?
No, because they're getting paid based on their acting.
I agree.
So
I don't know how you would set up that business model though. That's why allegedly the family member is looking out, but like also kids can't have money, so like the parent is, or whoever is related to them is also preying off of them. Like it's all bad because children don't have rights. It's all bad. The whole thing is icky. But back to the scene with Sasha, like I get the vibe that like she seemed pretty checked out already before she even gets in the room. So I feel like the trauma was already happening. And who knows, again, we don't know how old she was in this scenario. So she wasn't 8, obviously. I hope not, but because I mean, it's the same actor, but like, who knows how old she actually was. She might have been a minor. We don't actually know that.
Yeah.
So it was already suspicious. And then she gets into the room and then the man's being all creepy. And then, okay. So then power of saying no. So think about the scenario. So like, we kind of just said like one sen has power over Sasha, right? Because she's the parental figure and she's the guardian, air quotes. And she's her manager and her friend. Like Sasha said, that's my closest friend, which red flag. That's her closest friend. Okay. The woman who profits off of her. Right. Okay. So this is one authority figure. All right. And the authority figure before she gets in the room was saying, go do it. Then she gets in the room with the dude. Okay. He's the guy in charge. He's the guy who can like, quote, make or break everyone here because he ultimately is the one that's going to employ her or not. Right. So Sasha in the room with this man feels powerless. Okay. And Milk did a great job of showing us how powerless Sasha felt that whole time, especially when he's like, get naked. Basically, he's like, take your clothes off. You're a model. Models are naked sometimes. Just do it. Right. And you see how she feels powerless. And we as the audience, like, it's really easy to empathize with Sasha in that scene. Right. Because like you feel terrible for her because she feels powerless and you can see how powerless she feels. Right. Like that's palpable. Okay.
Yeah, you definitely can.
Yeah. Right? Did you empathize with Sasha? I did. Did you cry?
Oh, yeah, of course. Well, I didn't cry, but it was very hard to watch that.
It's hard to watch
because it felt so real.
It feels so real. Yeah, it's super uncomfortable. And that's the point. And like, it's hard to watch that because it just feels so visceral, right? Because you're empathizing. It's easy to empathize with Sasha in that scene. And I say that to make the point when I compare her to Prim and you're like, what? It's harder to empathize with Prim. Okay. So just remember that. Okay. All right. So basically, she's powerless because everybody else in the room has power over her. Okay. Then the insidious, gross part for me, not that this wasn't gross, was how they're trying to manipulate her. Okay. Because Wonsen and the photographer are both framing their manipulation as they're the rational ones. Because Wonsen's like, if you do whatever he says, you'll be famous. You want to be famous, right? You want to make mom happy. You want to make me happy, right? Do what he says. And then he is like, take your clothes off. And he's like, models take their clothes off in front of people all the time. Like, you have to be able to do this quickly. If you can't do this now with just me, how do I know you can be a model? Like, that's how he's manipulating her. He's basically like trying to make it sound real rational. And like, if she says no, she's the crazy one, which is gross. Okay.
I also want to like point out that they usually have like private areas to change, and even if they are changing in front of people, it's not one-on-one with a man who is telling you to get naked.
Who's filming it?
Takes out their phone to
who's filming it. Yeah, a little different, but like, again, hasn't made it yet, so he's the authority figure. He would know. He's in the industry, right? Like, you see the way it would be very easy for her to be manipulated because she's powerless. She knows the least. These are the authority figures, the people she's supposed to trust, telling her this shit, right? It's really gross. And this is how women get trafficked, basically. Okay, so Wonsen's really gross for sending her in there with like Jeffrey Epstein. That's this guy, right? You know, he sent her in with the pedophile or whatever. Okay, and all this shit happens to Sasha. So like, Sasha could have said no at any time during that, right? Because Wonsen, the Elaine Maxwell in the scenario, is basically like, you know, Sasha, like, because Sasha brings up her mom or whatever. Her mom comes up and she's like, you know, you can call your mom. You can go back to your mom whenever you want. Basically being like, you can say no. Like, you don't have to be here. I mean, your mom wants you to be here. Like, you see the way she manipulates her, and she's like, you know, you could say no whenever. And when she's in the room with the dude, what does she think of? She thinks of when Wonsen's like, you know, you can go back to your mom whenever you want. Almost like there's an illusion that she has a choice here. But like, Sasha feels like she really doesn't have a choice because everyone is stacked against her. Mom wants her to be here. Wonsen wants her to be here. This dude wants her to be here. Everything is riding on her being famous, right? So she feels like she can't say no. So she doesn't, even though she can say no and walk out of there. Like, she can. She just doesn't. Okay. So that's the power of like, if she said no, this would have never happened. But then like, everyone's mad at her. So she doesn't say no. So she feels powerless, right? Okay. Now let's go compare this to the A plot. Okay. So over in the A plot, we have Aerie. Aerie's in the A plot. Okay. So we have a same scenario, not same, because no one's filming anybody. Sasha's is worse. But we have a very similar scenario going with Prim and Aerie. Okay. So in the middle of the episode, we have Prim alone with Aerie. So that should have been a red flag to Prim, but apparently not. So Prim is finalizing this music video. To your point, I'm sorry, the music video in this episode goes through several rounds of edits. And like, the first draft that she shows Bambi honestly looked better. She used more scenes where Goria and Sasha looked in love. And then in the second draft, I was like, these are the worst possible scenes you could have picked because they're clearly fighting on screen. So it honestly doesn't work with the romantic music playing. It's really horrible, actually.
Yeah.
It made me laugh. The music video is so bad. It's a hot mess, guys. That's Prim. I guess it's just, Prim is a mess. Anyway, that made me laugh. Okay, so they're alone, right? And then Aerie does the thing where, so this is after like she hugs Prim in the bathroom. That whole thing. She's like, I don't have a partner now.
Okay, I'm sorry, really quickly.
Go ahead. No, just jump in
this
whenever.
Pissed me off.
Okay, jump in whenever.
Because she's like, can I hug you? And then immediately hugs her. She doesn't wait for the consent part.
Aerie's not into consent.
No, she's not whatsoever. But like, you don't ask someone, can I hug you, as you're actively hugging them. They're like, I guess so. That's taking away her autonomy there.
Yeah, that was weird as fuck. You know, she's the villain in a GMM TV show when they don't care about consent. That's always a GMM TV villain. Remember, I think that's why they had to have this scene in the very first episode where we forgot to give love to this scene, but in the scene in the first episode with Prim and Goria, where Prim's like, you can't be drunk for this because consent is important. Because they had to be like, Prim's not a villain, even though you're gonna like not like Prim most of the show. She's not a villain. We just have to make that clear. She cares about consent. She's not a villain, guys. You're not gonna like her. Just so you know.
That's why they made us fall for her in the beginning. So we'd think we're going insane when we start not liking her. And then we'd be like, what's going on? I thought she was my favorite. No, she's not my favorite. What is happening? She's people.
Prim's insufferable. But yeah, Prim is people. So here's another scene where Prim is insufferable. Okay, right? So thank you. Please interject whenever. So, all right. So we're back in the room with the horrible second draft that Prim thinks is great. And then Aries there. And Aries does the thing where she's like, I think anyone would be happy to have you as their girlfriend, which, girl, have you not paid attention to Prim? I don't think... Goria, you dodged a bullet, girl, because, like, if you got involved with Prim, you'd be more traumatized than you are now. Like, you don't want... Prim is not a good girlfriend. I just need to say that. So Goria dodged a bullet. But anyway, Barry's not on that train. So she puts her hand on Prim's knee. Okay, and if you watch Prim's hand goes to move, like, really quickly towards Aries' hand, but then she holds back. So, like, her instinct is to, like, move Aries' hand to make this stop. But that's as far as it goes. And then Prim looks uncomfortable if you look at her. But ultimately, Prim does nothing. Prim doesn't say no. And the difference between this scene and the Sasha scene is that Prim has all of the power in this scene. All of it. This is an employee-employer situation. Prim is the employer. Prim could just be like, I will call HR if you keep doing. Like, she has all of the power.
She does.
In this scene. All of it. And then Prim is not empathetic in this scene because she knows what's going on, hence her hand moving. She knows this is wrong. When Aries goes away, she looks uncomfortable. Like, she knows this is wrong. And she had all of the power to say yes. Unlike Sasha, who felt like she could have said no, but Sasha felt like she couldn't say no because she was the most powerless person in that scenario. Prim is the most powerful. But Prim chooses to say nothing. She does not address it. She just evades out of it and being like, I'm hungover. I need coffee. Okay?
Yeah.
And then Prim has the motherfucking audacity to gaslight Bambi when Bambi brings it up.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
What the fuck, Prim?
I also wrote this thing that, like, Prim says nothing and she has the power here. But I want to, like, first state that we're not blaming Prim for this happening. Because, like, she is technically the victim here. Because
I'm blaming Prim because she does it all the time.
Okay. But like, it's Aries doing this.
Correct. Yes. Aries.
She knows what Aries is doing. She doesn't stop it, but it's not her fault that Aries is doing it.
Correct. However, by Prim not addressing it, Prim enables the behavior.
Yes.
Which is why Aries keeps escalating what she's doing.
And because she has the power, she could, like, it would be very easy for her to say something.
Right. There is no contextual reason why Prim doesn't say no. That's what I mean. Prim is not empathetic in the scene. Prim has a girlfriend that Aries knows about. They are at work. This is sexual harassment. Also, Prim has a girlfriend that Aries knows about. And, like, so contextually, Prim has all the power to say no. But she chooses not to. And Prim's body language shows you she knows this is wrong. It's not that it's not like, remember in Somewhere Somehow where Key, who's, like, popular with women, like Prim, right? And Key gets hit on, but she's so stupid. I love her to death. That's my favorite character. Don't come for her. She's oblivious to the flirting. So she doesn't realize she's being hit on until her girlfriend is like, what the fuck are you doing? And she's like, I didn't even know that was happening because I'm just an idiot and I can't do humans. Prim, her body language shows us she knows this is wrong, but she doesn't do anything. And then gaslights Bambi. Bambi's like, girl, this woman is hitting on you. And Prim's in the bathtub being like, wow, Bambi, you just met her. You're already jealous. We're just working together. Girl, you know this is wrong. Like, that's why I can't empathize with Prim, because I'm like, you're aware of this. It's different when you're aware of it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I feel bad for Bambi here.
I feel bad for Bambi. Bambi's not nuts. Bambi's right.
Prim sees what's going on.
Prim knows. That's what makes Prim insufferable and unempathetic and, like, the most red flag character in the fucking show. What a plot twist that was.
But with Aries, so the issue with Aries, not more than, but, like, in addition to her hitting on Prim, when she knows that she has a girlfriend is the fact that Aerie has a partner who what's the word?
They're on the outs.
Presumably breaks up with her in this episode, which I'm still thinking about that might be staged.
Oh yeah.
But like, if she also has a partner, that means she was going after and cheating on her partner. Now, you could argue the fact that their relationship was on the outs. She wasn't feeling needed. She was acting out. But like, she's still going after another woman. Even if that relationship was fizzling out, she could have ended that relationship first than going after another woman.
100%.
Yeah. They're still cheating.
Yeah.
And now she's going to be upset about her partner breaking up with her when she's actively going after someone. However, I feel like she knew that Prim was in that bathroom and that phone call was completely fake.
I agree. I think that was staged. Because it's not that Prim walked into the bathroom. She was in a stall and came out.
Yeah.
I agree. I think that was staged. I think that's when Bambi... Again, she keeps gaslighting Bambi. In the previews for the next episode where Bambi's like, you really believe this two-faced liar? Like, I think Aerie's full of shit.
Oh, I have a whole
I can't wait
for that.
Yeah, no, I love Bambi more and more with every episode. And just like,
I just feel for her more and more every episode.
The way Prim like gaslights Bambi, I'm like, girl.
Like no wonder she's like so guarded and
jealous all the fucking time.
And jealous because she's being told that nothing's going on when she can clearly see it. She's not stupid.
No, she's not. And you know what I kind of think while watching this was like, I think that Prim likes when Bambi's jealous. I wonder if she gets off on that. Like Bambi like going off the rails and being super possessive. Like, cause like in the moment when Bambi's like having verbally sparring with Aerie, Prim looks uncomfortable. Notice Prim doesn't say anything. Prim says nothing. She just does the thing where she shrinks and she's real quiet, but she doesn't stop Bambi. Cause I love the argument where Aerie's in there, like they're ending their meeting and Bambi walks in and then Bambi's like, they're having this verbal sparring and that's when it comes out that Aerie has a girlfriend and she's like, oh, well, we've been fighting a lot recently. She's trying to make herself seem empathetic in your scenario where this is fake and I'm with you. Mm-hmm. But Bambi is like, oh, you're having relationship problems. You should probably go fucking work on those. Like Prim will give you time off. Prim's fine with that. Like she says that and like something to that effect. And then Prim's just sitting there saying nothing. Bambi's like, you can take off work and go deal with that shit. Leave my girlfriend alone.
Prim doesn't stop. I'm sorry. Prim's sitting there looking at the both of them, clearly knowing what's happening right now. And she doesn't stop that either.
I know. It's fucking ridiculous.
This is your business, girl. Take charge of something. For once.
We get that Bambi's the top, but come on, man. I get it. But god damn it, Prim. But then like Prim has amnesia because later on when they're in the bathtub together, after all this fucking happens, Prim pretends like it never happened. She's like, why are you so jealous, Bambi? I'm like, you literally watched them fight over you. And what is wrong with you, Prim? Like, how fucking dare you? Because but that's my point. Like in the moment, it seems like Prim is uncomfortable with the jealousy, but then like behind closed doors, she seems like, oh, that was cute. You were jealous. Like, what is wrong? Prim needs to be in therapy by herself.
Yes, that too.
For a while, because like, what is she doing? That's what Prim is so unlikable as a character because she's a hot and cold person and then like is infecting Bambi. I think I'm more empathetic towards Bambi now.
Well, yeah. And back to the bathtub scene, I feel like Bambi has not been given enough love and or attention from her mother because
yeah, sure.
The little bit of attention that Prim gives her and the love that she gives her, she's willing to take it. She's like, oh, I'm the best in all of the world, not just Thailand. And she's just happy in the relationship because she wants to believe in that part. She doesn't want to see the other part. Like, yeah, she's jealous, but she doesn't want to see that there could be issues and that Prim could actually leave her. She's trying to hold on to the happiness.
It could also be that, like, because again, we don't really get into Bambi and her dad, but her dad's dead. So it could be that like Bambi's and like Z's dead. So this could all be really stemming back to the fact that Bambi's afraid of losing people that matter to her. And so she's terrified of losing Prim. Even though their relationship is not perfect, Prim's hers, and she's terrified of losing Prim. And so that's why I feel like her jealousy is like more extreme now, especially after Z dying.
Yeah.
So she's afraid of just losing people, period. Especially Prim, because clearly she was like still in love with Prim during that time and all that kind of stuff. So I think she's double terrified of like losing Prim. So she's even more jealous when someone threatens what's hers, kind of thing. She's super possessive. But a bitch died on her. A bitch has died. Like, we've not dealt with the death yet.
No, because we did not go to therapy that year when she really needed to the most.
She's still not going to therapy.
No.
So yeah, I thought that was really interesting. The power of saying no and like feeling like you can't say no when you look at Sasha's scenario versus Prim's scenario. And then to me, the adult version of that is the C plot of all plots, has like the power of saying no. And then like, because in that scenario, you basically have Min and Praew are in that situation where Praew doesn't want to be in a closeted relationship. And then Min is like, I have my fucking family to deal with. Like, I can't make them not homophobic overnight. Like, that's not how that works. And they both, in their conversations with each other, something I really like about the C plot is that they're probably the most emotionally intelligent couple, I would say, because they talk about their own feelings and have no issue expressing them to each other. And that was like one of the things I really loved about this episode, especially when they were, well, I'm actually in both of their scenes. In the scene where like Min confronts Praew at her like studio, and then like later at Min's bedroom, they both have these conversations where they're talking about how they feel. And they're very good at being like, this is how I feel. I don't want to feel like this. And Prowl's like, okay, well, don't make me feel guilty about how I feel. This is how I feel. And like, they're very good at like communicating that. But they're in a situation where like they both could say no, like, and walk away from each other, but they don't. They talk to each other and be like, this is my boundary. This is what I'm saying no to. When it comes to our relationship, like Min's like, I can't be fully out with you right now because I have this family thing. It's going to be slow to get them to accept me. So we have to take this slow, versus like, and then Praew is like, okay, well, I don't want to be like totally in the closet with you. So Min's like, okay, as a compromise, how about you come meet my family? And then you see where I'm coming from. Like, I can give you that now. That's a status thing. I'm bringing you to my family. That's what you want. Like, is that okay as a compromise? And they end up compromising with each other. So like in that scenario, they both say no to their boundaries, but then find a middle ground kind of thing. So like power of no was in all the plots. So I thought that was actually really interesting how it was being written and presented, and just makes me hate Prim more.
Yes.
Oh my God,
I mean,
Prim.
yeah. No, that's definitely the big thing, is her position of power makes it easier for her to say no.
And it makes it makes her unlikable because she doesn't, because she can. She has all the power to say no, and she just doesn't. And then this bitch, in that conversation though, I love in the conversation with Aerie, because Aerie's sad about the ex or whatever, and Prim has the fucking audacity to like try to give this bitch life advice, and she's like, don't let things bottle up. It's like, Prim, do you hear the fucking words coming out of your mouth? You should probably listen to yourself. Dumbass.
This is another example of it's easier to tell our friends, give our friends advice than take it ourselves.
Prim is the embodiment of that, because she's been telling Min since the beginning, like, you need to break up with your boyfriend because he's toxic. And then Min's like, you're dating Bambi. What are you doing? Have you seen your relationship, Prim? I love Min. I like earlier when Min was like, okay, when she gets back together with Bambi, and Min's like, you've lost all authority to tell me what to do in my relationship, because look at you. You don't take your own advice.
Yeah. That's true. I had a different theme that I thought of throughout this episode.
What you got?
But I'll let you know right after these shout outs for our Chaos Crew over on Patreon.
Woo!
Our Chaos Crew members on the Big Gay Ride or Die tier and above are Amix Monzone _Multi, Andres, Ash You So Stunning, BJR, Brianna, Caroline R, Danny, Isla, L, Girlfriend _J_XIX, Here for It, Jasmine O, Jill L, Kayoshi, Kasi M, Kelsey S, Kenzie, Kyria B, Leona, Livia A, Michelle G, MMM230403, Monet F, Moving Forward Leading, Nancy D, Pooja S, Regina B, and Sarah B.
Woo!
And our featured Big Gay supporter members for this episode is Angel, sorry, Kay Brewster, and Nai H.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for all of your support.
Thank you.
And thank you to each and every one of you. We truly appreciate you and could not be doing this without you.
No.
Seriously, we'd just be talking into a void without anyone listening. Again, this is a regular conversation, so this is what we do normally.
These are just normal conversations we're having.
Bashing Prim. Bashing Prim.
Sorry. So
anyway.
Easy. It's so easy. She doesn't help me like her. I have some positive Prim moments in this episode. I will bring them up because she's a human being. She's just not.
Yes, there are good and bad to every single person, and
100%.
Everything's not black and white.
100%,
There's
100%.
morally gray.
There's basically only morally gray. We pretend like there isn't.
Yes,
that's Disney's fault for conditioning us to think that there isn't a morally gray.
Yeah. Again, we're humans, and humans make mistakes.
We do. Okay, something I just want to bring up real quick, just to round out that whole thing we were talking about. Going back to Sasha and the casting couch, Epstein Island thing she just went through, okay, where she felt powerless to say no. To me, watching all of that really changed the context of the first time she saw Goria, and she was on set, and similar scenario, right? It was a big famous photographer. So here's one sentence. She got her in with the first guy and then kept doing that, right? She kept taking her to famous photographers or whatever, famous people to work with. And so she's in that scenario where Sasha it's 6 months prior to when Girl World starts. And that's when she finds Goria. And like in that scenario, she was like, this guy is going to make me late for my next appointment because he's taking his sweet ass time. Like, I'm going to miss my next booking. Go do something. And one said, this confirms to me that bitch did nothing because he was a famous guy and she doesn't want to piss him off. So she probably didn't do anything. And so it changed the context of like Goria and Sasha watching Goria literally say no to the famous guy. Literally, she was powerless in that scenario, and the dude points it out because she doesn't know who Goria is, right? And this guy's like, "You're a no-name stylist. Like, what? You're obviously wrong. I'm right because I'm the famous guy." And she's like, "This is what we agreed on. Fuck you. I'm not working with you. No." And she leaves. So here it is. Like, this is the embodiment of like what Sasha probably wishes she could have done in that original incident that traumatized her. And she's watching somebody do what she wished she had the courage. This really brave little girl, little woman, this tiny little like 100-pound wet girl, like is like, fuck you, and like leaves. How empowering is that to watch? That's why Sasha Stan's like, who was that? Because like it really changed that context for me because I feel like that it healed Sasha's inner child a little bit watching Goria do that, you know, because she wished she could have. So yeah, like if you compare those two scenes, it really goes to show you that like Sasha, even though she felt powerless, had the power to say no. It's just everybody around her manipulated her into thinking that she didn't. But Goria is proof in that scene that like even if you're powerless, you can still say, or the one without the power, you can still say no and leave.
Mm-hmm. Which gives Prim even less excuse.
Yeah, fuck Prim. But like, damn, like, you know what I mean? Like, it really, that changed that scene for me because I was like, wow, like, that. No wonder Sasha was enamored immediately because, like, she probably, like, that's my hero right there, you know?
Yeah, she was definitely, like, looked up to her at that point, even though, again, she's the smaller one.
I know. I love that the little feisty one is so combative. But Goria is so fucking brave. Like, she's really brave. I love that about her. She has the ovaries to be like, I'm fucking leaving. Like, you're wrong, bitch. See ya. Basically being like, I don't need you to get where I gotta go. She's like, I would rather sell noodles than work with an unprofessional person. I don't care how fucking famous you think you are. Like, goodbye.
Yeah, and she's not about to sell out her values. And like, when she knows that she's right.
Yeah. But also on the flip side, that could have made Sasha feel worse because she's like, wow, I gave in when to somebody who was being super unprofessional, like, you know, because it's a very similar situation. Like Sasha's was way grosser and more predatory, but like similar kind of scenario, you know?
Yeah.
So very
That's true.
interesting. Very interesting. All right. Other thing I super love about this this particular episode is it just really dawned on me how much of a feminist piece of work that girls really is. First of all, are there any men aside from like creepy photographers and Min's people surrounding Min? There are like no men in this show. It's mostly women, and mostly queer women. Are there straight women in this show? I don't think there are.
No.
No, except people in Min's plotline. It's like the only straight people. So I love that. So it kind of is the L word, because if you like run into somebody, they're probably queer.
Yes. And that's
so,
beautiful.
It is. It is. But okay. So I realized that this was a very feminist piece of literature because, first of all, at all the stuff we talked about before where they have like domestic violence against women and like all that kind of stuff, this episode was the embodiment of like the power of women supporting women, like the downfalls of like women not supporting women. So I would say that's another theme. So I think it's most evident in Sasha's plotline. So once, oh my God, this poor girl, the way she was like so torn up about this. And then, like we said, she was going to push Goria away, and then Goria's going to be like, I don't know about this. And but the way everybody comes together to support her, first with Sasha getting drunk, literally blackout drunk, and Aunt, the bartender, owner of Blossom, like takes her home. Like she could have, like she didn't need to do any of that. She could have been like, get out of my bar. Like she took care of Sasha, took her to her home. And then Sasha starts probably ugly crying about the whole scenario because she's blackout drunk and doesn't know what's going on. Aunt hears the story. Okay, if she was an opportunist, she could have like leaked this to the press. You know what I mean? But she doesn't. She calls Goria, whom she knows Sasha, quote, fired or isn't taking care of her. Calls Goria because she's like, listen, come get your girl. Like, I know you're looking out. Come get her. And tells Goria everything that's happening. She's like, she's a hot mess because her manager's a monster. And so Goria then comes and gets her and like gives her this pep talk, which that scene when they were alone in Aunt's room, first of all, Goria in her outside clothes in Aunt's bed, that was weird. That was a little weird. But anyway, it doesn't matter. So that was weird. But anyway, so they're having that conversation where Sasha's upset, and basically Goria in that scene tells Sasha, you're not alone. And I feel like that's the thing that's been plaguing Sasha forever, since she was 8 years old and literally isolated by adults who are profiting off of her. And here's Goria telling her that. And then like literally everything in the rest of the episode demonstrates that she is not alone. Starts with Aunt, then Goria, then literally everybody else comes together for that press conference. Everybody, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that kind of goes with the theme that I thought of for this episode, which is just that the fear of loneliness was connected throughout all the plot lines.
100%. I think everybody's got a little bit of that all the time going on.
Yeah, and like
expand
with Sasha and Goria, like when Sasha wakes up that morning, they were talking. Well, first of all, even that the night before, she was like, I live alone anyway.
Yeah.
So like when she wakes up, she's like, I have no one to lean on anyway. And then that's exactly when Goria comes in the room and she's like, are you sure about that? And I just, I love that Goria showed her that she can lean on her when she needs someone. And it was just so powerful. And then to see how everyone really rallied around her, it kind of like seeing that. I'm sure I'm getting ahead of myself. So like the fear of loneliness continues in Praew and Min storyline with the way that first of all, this was a low blow for Min to do. Min tells Praew that she isn't alone like she is, that she has people who, like, she has to, I forget.
She's like, basically, I have other people in my life I have to consider when I do things. I'm not alone like you are. Meaning, like, I have family, you don't.
Yeah.
But Min catches herself and she's like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it that way. Like, she catches herself immediately and immediately apologizes. So, like,
yeah.
I don't think she, like,
yeah,
she's just like, I, that's not what I meant. Like, sorry. Like, but Min's trying to make the point that, like, I'm not just out here doing what I want selfishly. Like, I have other people in my life that I have to, like, take into account when I do things. Like, you know, but she's not wrong. Praew does have the freedom to be her uninhibited self because she doesn't have this, like, conservative family breathing down her neck. That's what Min was trying to make, but the way it came out was just very, like, hurtful. And you can see it on Prow's face. She's like, wow.
And the way she said it too kind of, like, feels like it confirmed that Praew has no support system. And I just hope, like, we see, like, this whole group rally around Praew at some point, like they did for Sasha, because I think she especially needs to know that, like, there's people there for her. Because I feel like that's a little bit of her fieriness, is that she has to take care of herself.
Yeah, 100%.
And that she,
100%.
like, so she has to protect herself.
Yeah.
By doing that.
Yeah,
so
yeah, you're right.
Having someone who she can talk to and rely on, maybe that would make her, like, chill out a little bit more and not have to be on guard so much. And then obviously with Bambi. Bambi's just that's her main background right now, is the fear of being lonely. So it just kind of ties into everyone. But can we talk about Min and that scene with her family?
Oh, wait. I in a minute, I'll get to that. I want to finish it ties into my women supporting women and women not supporting women whole thing. So going back to Bambi for a second. Okay. Because like we were talking about, like, the embodiment of women supporting women is really this press conference for Sasha. Okay. And there's a couple things I want to talk about there that I thought was really harped on, like, the women supporting women thing. So first of all the friends, like all the queer women, set this thing up, get Sasha's lawyer. Goria runs it. And then there's a couple of, like, key conversations in there that I thought were very much like women supporting women. So, like, Bipor is the first one. So Bipor comes in and talks to Sasha. First of all, Prim's in there first. I'll circle back to Prim. I'm gonna start with Bipor. But Prim's in there, and if you notice when Bipor walks into the room, Prim, they have this, like, silent exchange because, you know, the history between Sasha and Bipor, and then Prim puts her, like, hand on Bipor's shoulder, like supportively, and, like, leaves. So, like, she's a good sister. I have to point that out about Prim. She's good. She's like, are you gonna be okay with this? That's kind of like their silent exchange. And then Bipor, like, apologizes to Sasha and tells her, like, I'm rooting for you today. And she's like, hey, that weird shit that happened with us, that was coming from me. Like, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I made you feel uncomfortable. And, like, so I like that they talk, and, like, Sasha's like, you know, I'm flirtatious with everyone because that's my job. So sorry. But I like that she apologizes and she's like, hey, I know we had a past, but, like, I'm still here to support you. Right. Kind of thing. So there's that. And then Bambi, I fucking love that Goria's running this thing. Bambi comes in the room like a fucking tornado. And then Goria's like, I got this, Bambi. Stay over there. But Bambi's like, she's my friend. I want to help her. Can I at least pass out the snacks? And Goria's like, fine. like so ferociously. It's like, I'm here for my friend. Also, I'm really surprised that Bambi didn't offer to, like, burn the place down if shit went sideways. Because, like, I feel like she's that friend. You know what I mean? I feel like Bambi would be the most literal ride or die ever. Like, if you had her as a friend. You know, like, if Sasha's like, I need to bury a body, Bambi'd be like, Bambi's the one that doesn't ask questions. She's like, you got a body to bury? All right, let's go. And then I'll buy drinks at Blossom's after. Like, that's Bambi. Bambi's that friend.
So, especially with that duo. Like,
yes.
Yeah, shoot.
She's that friend. If you're her friend, she's as fiercely protective of you as she is of her girlfriend. Like, that's Bambi. So I love how Bambi put her differences with Goria aside to be there for Sasha, right? Because she wasn't combative with Goria. She's like, Sasha's my friend. I want to help her. I'm going to help her. Give me here's what I can do. So Goria's like, fine. Then Prim. Okay, and this was Prim's shining moment in my opinion, when she goes backstage to talk to Sasha, and she basically gives Sasha a pep talk, and and tells her, she's like, listen, look at all of this, okay, look at all the people. She lists them out. She's like, all these people are here to support you. Like, you are not alone. She also makes that point to be like, you're not alone. You have all the Ladybird people, me. She says us, which I think means me and Bambi. The Ladybird people, Goria, literally everyone is here for you. So like, you're being supported by like all of the women in your life are here to support you, right? And I have to give credit to Prim because like this in contextually kind of read to me like Prim, the director, is like hyping up the talent who's nervous. So to me, I'm like, Prim is probably really effective at her job and actually would be a good director because she's empathetic towards the talent and like the crew and all the people. Like, she seems like she's a good director. That's what I got from that. She's hyping up the talent, even though like her and the talent have a past, and like she put that aside for this moment, and like was there for Sasha when Sasha was like, she tells her, she's like, I'm really afraid that my emotions are going to get the best of me when I'm up there and I'm going to start crying and I can't like hold it together. And Prim talks her down. Like, that was a good taking care of the talent thing. So that's my good moment for Prim in the episode, and the little supportive silent gestures with her sister.
It was that was the best part of her that we've seen.
Yeah. And then in that press conference, to continue the women supporting women thing, Sasha doesn't make the press conference only about herself. She's like, in the press conference is like, I'm speaking up so that to help me, but also so that other women feel comfortable speaking up, so this doesn't happen to anybody else. Like, and she's like, she basically takes everything, little social justice warrior, again, love getting typecasted as the social justice warrior again. Social justice warrior Goria. And she basically says everything Goria said. I feel like Goria wrote the script, gave to Sasha. Because she's saying all these things, like, you're not alone. This shouldn't happen to anybody else. Like, I'm here for you. Like, I'm going to support you. So it was a very, like, women supporting women, like, speech that she also gave, which is important. Because remember, let us go back to Min and Praew. Remember, Min gets harassed by her ex-boyfriend. The cop's like, well, I'm not doing anything about this. And then Praew was like, if I was a celebrity, would you do something? So, like, here's the celebrity being like, I was harassed. Suddenly everybody cares. Notice everybody in the room suddenly cares. It's front page news. Suddenly we care about harassment.
Very true.
So there we are. Okay.
Hold on.
Anything to say about that before I pivot?
No, I just need to stop you real quick. Your mic is hitting something.
My mic.
Whenever you move your desk, like shake your desk a little bit, I can hear it.
I mean, I guess maybe it's the wire. I mean, the wire is technically attached to the desk. Shit.
Because usually that happens when my mic is like hitting the camera or something, or the computer. Like the stand is hitting something.
I propped up the wire, so maybe that'll stop now.
Yeah, it's better. Sorry, I just wanted to...
That's fine. It's okay. My setup is not perfect.
Sorry.
Okay. All right. Anything else to say about the press conference thing? Otherwise, I'm going to pivot into Min's family thing.
No, go ahead.
Okay. So then on the flip side of this, there's the women not supporting women. Okay. So I already went over Wonsen, 100% not supporting Sasha ever. She's just preying on her. So that's an example of like Wonsen, like, knew Sasha was about to go in the room with a predator and like talked her into doing it instead of being like, this is unsafe. I'm going to protect you as a woman protecting a woman. She enabled the situation and like sent her in there. And then going into Min's plotline, this is another example of like women enabling bad behavior that harms women. So Min takes Praew home and they have dinner. Okay. And it's very obvious by this conversation that this is a very conservative household, which we kind of already knew. But then the conversation at dinner, when it pivots from Praew into Min, and her dad, I think, brings up, I heard you broke up with Park. Why would you do that? What did you do to him? Notice the conversation. What did you do to him? And she's like, why are you putting this blame on me? Like, he could be a jerk and I left him because he was physically and mentally abusing me. Notice during that conversation, mom says nothing. Grandma says nothing. They don't protect Min. They're just like, well, you'll meet another boy one day and have kids and keep the family line going. The family line. What, you guys are middle class at best. What family line? Fuck out of here. These people with their legacy nonsense, like, get out of here. But I notice they don't protect Min and they deflect. And they're like, you'll try again. You'll try again with another boy. Nobody is like, I'm glad you got out of that abusive relationship you were in, Min. They're just like, go into another one. Notice that. Women not supporting women. So then the cycle of like women trapped in horrible relationships like continues because it's being enabled, right?
Yeah. I hated that part, but I was proud of Min for taking baby steps and like standing up for herself and calling out her family. Like, not only does she like ask if she really needs to endure and like tells them like Park was abusing her mentally and physically, but she also calls out her family for borrowing money from her aunt.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, showing that they're fucking hypocrites. She's like, you guys are sitting here saying she's worthless, her life is meaningless because she doesn't have kids. And you're like, she's not in. So they said in the other episode that like the aunt's not, when mom was like, don't be a disappointment like Herman, she's not allowed to come to worship ceremonies. Your grandparents don't accept her. But they'll take her money, though.
Yeah.
They'll take her money. They'll borrow money between family. They treat her like family when it comes to money. She's like, suddenly it's fine now. So you don't have
How nice
that
of her to even loan them money. Huh? Like, how like generous of that aunt to even loan them money, because I would have been like, no, screw you. You ousted me.
I don't know this for sure. I agree. I think that's a very American view, but I think in Thailand it's different because especially when like, Sasha as an adult is like, I send my mother money still. I think there's more of a money exchange between family member kind of thing. I don't know for sure, but I get the sense contextually.
That's fair.
Pause for 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Mm-hmm. I have to pee really quickly.
No problem.
I'm just going to pause it. You lost it?
I don't know where we were.
We were talking about Min and Praew and the dinner and then the aunt and how the family takes money from the aunt and how it's hypocritical. No?
Nope.
Okay. I want to keep talking about the Min and Praew scene because I think actually, I just want to talk about the sea. Oh, go ahead. Go.
No, I was just like, in the beginning, I was like, I guess Min never told Praew not to tell her family she was a lesbian. Well, that she liked women. And Prow's like, you can call that whatever you want, but I like women. But it was the perfect way for Praew to see firsthand how her family reacts to this. And just like understand a little bit about why Min is doing what she's doing.
Oh yeah, that is exactly what I wanted to talk about. So I'm glad you brought that up because I want to talk about the C plot in context of that because that's a good point that you're bringing up. So the C plot to me it's not a typical comp het story. So we kind of talked about it in our last Girl Love episode where like on the surface it seems like the typical comp het where it's like an out queer person is dating a comp het person who's and it's in the closet for a bit and there's friction there, but that's like yes, that's what's happening, but that's so much more complicated than that because that's an oversimplification. I think that what this episode did is it really brought back the fact that Praew and Min have an age gap It doesn't look like it, but they do. There is an age gap. This isn't Blank. It's not a Blank the series age gap where a whole ass human being age-wise is in between them. That's not what's happening here. But they do have an age gap.
You broke me.
It's not Blank, okay? But there is an age gap, and it's important in the context of the Comp Het plotline. Because Praew is like Gen Z, probably like young Gen Z, I would think. And she grew up in a time when queerness, it was normalized. Praew never had to be in the closet. Ever. Because she grew up in a time where it was like way more accepted. I mean, it's not perfect, I know that, but it's like more accepted than it's ever been. Versus Min is probably more millennial aged, maybe, or older Gen Z or something. I don't know. Praew keeps calling herself Gen Z, but then Min's like, how old is she supposed to be? Like 25? I'm like, aren't you Gen Z then?
Yeah, she would definitely be
Isn't that Gen Z right now? But like, sure. They're implying that Min is a millennial, but I don't think that's true. But either way, Min, because of their age gap, Min grew up in a time where queerness was being normalized. She's in the transition age. Okay, so Min has experienced homophobia more so in society than there is now. She saw the change, okay? And then Min's family, okay, grew up when it wasn't normalized, okay? Because like Min's family it consists of her mother, father, and grandparents. So we're dealing with generations, okay, and their acceptance and non-acceptance of queerness, okay, that Praew is missing, because Praew was like, I only care about you and me. And Min's like, the world is not just you and me. Because again, Praew is young. Young people are always like, Romeo and Juliet, it's us against the world. It's like, no, there's politics involved here. There are other people. Like, it's not just us. It's not us, the series. There's other girls. But anyway, so, okay, and I think that the writers of Girl Rules are trying to harp on the age gap, and remind us, not harp, but remind us there's an age gap, because Prim kept saying it. She's like, your young girlfriend, your puppy girlfriend. She kept pointing out the fact that Praew was young. Praew was younger than Min. Praew was younger than Min. That's what that dialogue is meant to do. Be like, she's younger. So their perceptions of this is different. So then I think it was really great that Min took her home, because I think Min is like, we're not seeing eye to eye. You need to see this for yourself to really understand where I'm coming from. So then she brings her home, okay? And then they have that conversation, right? Where all the homophobia comes out, and the uncle asks Praew, are you a tomboy? And I think that the translation was deliberate there, because I remember from Blank, that term came out. Remember Yui, when Chet was like, you're a tomboy, right? Whatever that term is like an antiquated term that's like more derogatory for queer people. It's not like, remember everybody else in Blossom, somebody in Blossom would never say that, okay? Gen Z would never say that. Millennials won't say that. They'll be like, are you sapphic? Are you into women? It's different language, right? Because we don't say shit like that. And so Praew gets asked that question. I think that is the most jarring thing out of anything, is the question she gets asked. She's like, that's what she says, call it whatever you want. That's not a term anybody uses anymore. So it shows her how conservative, outdated their thinking is. Like, that hits Praew in the face more than anything else that was going on there. The fact that she got called that very antiquated term.
Yeah.
And if you look at Praew, because like, from my understanding, that the word they're using in Thai is implying essentially a woman who lives like a man, not trans, but embodies the male role in a queer relationship. Look at Praew. When Praew showed up to the dinner table, does she look like she's embodying a masculine role? She's wearing a pink shirt with lipstick. She looks very feminine. So like, the fact that she's getting asked that tells Praew a lot about this family and what Min goes through, I think.
Yeah. And I think it was really good for her to see it firsthand, because I don't think, because she's not been in this type of environment, there's no way for her to understand that. Like, yeah, she can be like, well, yeah, I get that you don't want to like disappoint your parents or like be ousted by your family, but it's theoretical and hypothetical for her, because she has no context for it.
100%. 100%. Yeah. And it's not Prew's fault or anything. And So I think it was important not just for Praew to see it, but for Praew to experience it. Because by getting that question, she's experiencing firsthand what Min experiences. So it's not just watching Min, it's she gets asked that question and she's like, whoa. Okay, this is what you're dealing with. Okay, that took me off guard. I thought I understood. Now I get it. Now I get it. I have experienced this firsthand.
And I wonder if that's going to have her be more understanding in the closetedness of the relationship, because Praew, we have that scene in the bedroom where Praew is now once again agreeing to stay closeted with this relationship and take it slow again.
But not again. Her issue was like, you're not being clear with me at all. And so Min was being very clear in that conversation to be like, it's not that I don't want to hold your hand in public. It's not that I don't want to be, because that's what Praew was worried about. She's like, why can't we just be like every other couple? Why do you not want that, Min? Why do you not want that, Min? I want the status of being a girlfriend. I want people to know. And so Min clears it up. She's like, it's not that I don't want that. Why wouldn't I want that? You're great. It's not that I don't want to do these things. It's just that I have these other people in my life that are not accepting of that. So I can't come out and do that right now. I need to like work on, like, this has to be slow because of the other people in my life that are attached to me. And she tells that flat out to Praew. She's like, are you okay with that? That's my situation. And Prow's like, okay. So like, again, I feel like this is a young thinking versus like older thinking kind of thing. And it's not wrong or bad or anything. I personally have been in this situation before, like in college. So one of my college girlfriends and I went through this. Okay, what Min and Praew are going through, basically, where the girl I was dating like had a very homophobic family. We lived in the South. Okay, South, we're in red states in America, if you know what that means. It's a very homophobic family. And basically we devised this whole thing to like get her out of there and like come live with me and this whole thing. And at the very end of it, because she told me she's unhappy, and like at the very end she said, no, I can't give up my family. And then like we broke up and like went our separate ways. And like at the time I didn't understand. I was like 19, 20, Prow's age. I was Prow's age and I didn't understand. I was Praew in the scenario and I didn't fully understand. I was like, you're saying you're unhappy, you want to be out, you want to be free. What's the problem? And then years down the road, okay, my ex now is like, has their family still, like a decade later, and is now an out trans man, has the family still. So like Min isn't wrong in this scenario for being like, you're asking me to give up my whole family just to like be myself, basically, be out to everybody else. That's a huge cost. And not everybody wants to make that cold turkey cut, never see them again thing. Sometimes it takes time to get them to accept you. Sometimes they'll never accept you, but sometimes they will, even though it seems like the odds are very much stacked against you. My ex is a good example of that. Like, you know, so now that I'm later on, I'm like Min's age, I can see this for what it is and be more empathetic towards Min. But I understand where Praew is coming from, because Praew doesn't have the life experience to understand that, really. And Praew, to Min's point, doesn't have the familial baggage that she does. Like, I don't know, we don't really know what the relationship with the sister is really truly like, but it doesn't seem like sister's breathing down her throat all the time, because like sister didn't stand up for Praew when the husband was hitting on her or whatever. So like, it doesn't seem like it, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
Praew is like, what's more, I'm young. What's her conversation with Boom, her friend? The friend's like, we're young. Why should we be uncertain? We should just be who the fuck we are. We should be authentic. We should just be out. And that's a very young person, like limited life experience kind of thinking, where it's like you're coming out of, you know, adolescence and childhood where it's reinforced that everything is about you because everything revolves around you because you don't have rights and people have to take care of you. And then once you're an adult where you have legal autonomy, you have to understand that you exist in the context of society and the world, and it's not just about you anymore. And so like, I think this episode was very much trying to emphasize like they are at different life stages.
And so the question is, can they make it work or can't they? Like, is that a big boundary, the ideologies they have, like in their different periods of life? You know what I mean? And what I like about this is that it goes to show you that, like, if you want a relationship to work long term, you have to learn how to compromise. Like, you have to. As somebody who is in a long term relationship, like, me and my wife have been together 10 years. It'll be 8 years later on this month. We've been married. You have to learn to compromise. It's the only way it's going to work. Like, in long-term relationships with human beings, if you want them to last more than a few days, you have to compromise. Like, you're not going to get everything you want, everything you need all the time. You have to meet the other person where they're at. And so I think they're demonstrating with Min and Praew that they are capable of doing that, because the conversation in the bedroom was that they were like, this is where I'm at. Can you meet me where I'm at? They both were saying that. Like, it was a very adult, emotionally intelligent, like long-term relationship type of conversation that they were having. Because Min has been in a long-term relationship. She knows what that's like. And so, yeah, I like that about the C plot is evolving in ways I did not expect the C plot to evolve in. And I really, again, there's a social commentary plot, but I really liked that about as somebody who's been in these experiences, I was like, this felt very real and very relatable from like both points of views.
That's very fair. And I like that you enlightened us on that, because that is something that I feel like people will easily like forget about. Like, yeah, they have an age gap. We're so used to seeing that, but like, what does that really mean?
Yeah. Yeah. They like, definitely they were with Min, Praew, and the family. They were definitely making a comment on generations and how generations view queer relationships. Like, yeah, it's legal now in Thailand, but not everybody's accepting. Just because something's legal doesn't mean everybody accepts it, because they didn't grow, her parents, her grandparents did not grow up in times when it was legal and therefore normalized, so their outlook's very different. So, and here's and like, there already is somebody in Min's family that is queer. And like, I think it was good for Praew to also witness how they talk about the queer person who exists in the family now, who's out, and the way they talk about her.
Yeah.
So Min's like, this is why I'm not saying anything. Like, they're crazy. Like, they're gonna need some time. They know a queer person and they're still assholes, so.
And the way that they talked, it seems like they already know this about Min as well.
They sure do, but they're not gonna address it. Notice they're not directly talking about it, because if they address it, then it's real. Actually, if you go back, in one of the episodes, there's a scene where Min's alone with her mom. I think the mom flat out asks Min, "Oh, are you gay now?" And like, Min does not answer. Does not answer the question. She's just like, God damn it, I can't get this ramen packet open. What the hell? Like,
that's true.
Does not answer the fucking question. Mom asks, but nobody else. They're beating around the bush. I think they're all suspicious. I think Uncle puts it together, and that's why he's like, we're not going to have any heirs in this family to carry on the family line, which, again, you're middle class at best. Like,
I think Mom is the most accepting, which is why she's the one to ask her directly about it.
I don't know if accepting is the right word, but like, Mom is like is going to be the most nurturing. But again, Mom still does not stand up to the rest of the family. Like, but like, why is it on Mom? Everybody should be, But anyway, why is it always on the women to fix everything?
I just mean, like, I think, yeah, she's just doesn't want to. She wouldn't say it in front of people, but like behind closed doors, when it's just the two of them, like, she would be more open to her.
Potentially, yeah. Actually. But yeah, C-plot got real interesting this episode. All right. Yeah. Anything you'd like to talk about, Praew or Min?
No, I think that's all I had for them.
All right. Is there anything else you want to talk about Prim and Bambi, the A-plot, before we like?
No, the only note I had for them was that Prim is not blind or stupid.
Prim is just the worst. Prim is just the worst. Oh God, she's the worst. Also, why would you okay, when they're oh my god, I'm sorry, I just have to. When they're in the club, hey, Crystal serenade in the room, and Bambi texts her, text me when you get home. So then Prim's like, I'll take a photo. Why is Aerie in the photo, Prim?
Okay, hold on. I have a question because why is she fully in that photo then? But then she's randomly cropped out on Bambi's phone.
Did Prim crop her out?
Yeah, but not effectively because she wanted him to be jealous.
I think she wants Bambi to be jealous. I agree with you. I think she's baiting Bambi. Do you think Prim's upset low key that Bambi had a girlfriend when they broke up and has not told her? You think Prim's upset about that?
Oh yeah, probably.
Right. I think she's a little upset about that and is again not going to confront it. So she's doing stupid shit, maybe.
Yeah, be like, I can get another girl too.
I can get many that's why I keep employing people who are in love with me. Also, okay, sorry for the A plot. I like how this episode essentially opens with Lady Bird hiring more queer women because they didn't have enough. So they're like, we hired Aerie and also Bipolar's here. There's so many it's just queer women that work in this fucking studio. We need more. We don't have enough. This makes me laugh.
I love that Bipor is there because now we get more of her.
Bipor is there.
This is really
how cute
I forgot.
Is.
Yes, no, she's just adorable. And I forgot to say this earlier. I just love the scene where her and Goria are bonding over the fact that they liked someone who's older than them in school.
Mm-hmm.
That was just so adorable. She's like,
so
that sounds
cute.
familiar.
I like when Prim is introducing her and she's like, you can scold her, it's fine. And then she's like, hi everyone, you can scold me, but be real nice about it because my heart's like a little big. And she does the little heart thing. It's so cute. How could you be mad at her? She's so cute.
She's the cutest.
She's the fucking cutest thing.
I love her so much.
I love her so much. Oh, Bipor, I love you to death. Okay, all right. So the B plot, which is the Sasha Goria plot. Let's say that was the plot this episode. Couple of things we learned from this episode that I think were interesting. Sticking with Bipor for a second. When Bipor goes and talks to Sasha and is basically apologizing for the past, and then it gets real cute and is like, maybe don't smile at women because they'll fall in love with you. In that conversation, she says, if you have a girlfriend, don't smile at other women, implying that Sasha was probably dating Crystal at the time that whole thing went down. So that's interesting. So wonder if we'll get more of that later with Crystal.
Interesting.
In the next episode. So that was interesting. Sasha had a girlfriend at the time. Which, again, puts more context into the whole, this was a one-sided crush because Sasha had a girlfriend. And anyway, Bipor is a baby. She doesn't know what's going on. But look at the emotional intelligence of Bipor to be like, I'm sorry, this was all on me, and I realize that now. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sometimes all the feelings are just in our head and not how the actual other person's actually coming on.
Yeah. And when feelings are involved, it's not easy to see that sometimes. Okay, actually, that's an amazing segue to something. I'm reading a book right now called Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil, which is written by V. Schwab, who wrote the short story that inspired Frisco. And this is a lesbian vampire story about toxic relationships, okay? And I got to this part, I'm in the part of the book where one of the characters is explaining in graphic detail the fucking toxic relationship she was in for centuries, okay, because vampires. And so that was interesting and relevant to girl roles. So why does she stay? Meaning, why does she stay in the toxic relationship? That's like asking, why stay inside a house on fire? Easy to say when you are standing on the street, a safe distance from the flames. Harder when you are still inside, convinced you can douse the blaze before it spreads, or rushing room to room, trying to save what you love before it burns. So
that's beautiful.
The point is, we can sit here and judge these characters all we want because we're on the street watching the house fire. We are not in the house trying to save the shit we love and trying to you know, throw water on it.
Yeah.
I just thought that was relevant.
Kind of goes back to again, it's easier to be on the outside, like with Prim giving advice and then not taking it herself because she's involved in it.
100%. Or the other side of that too is it's very easy as Prim to look at the Sasha bipor situation and be very biased in how we look at that because we're emotionally attached to our sister, and not look at Sasha objectively and be like, Sasha had a girlfriend at the time. I was being nice. You know, you're nice to all your coworkers. You're nice, Prim. Same thing. Again, Prim sees herself in Sasha and hates it. That's what it is. That's why she hates her so much. All right. Okay, so Sasha, Goria. I love them. I just love them. I just love them so much. I love them so much. I love the way Goria was completely emotionally unguarded with Sasha for most of this episode. Like, she comes in when Sasha's drunk off her ass at the beginning of the episode and like gets her to the photo shoot. First of all, I love the conversation where she's like, Sasha, we gotta go. Like, what? She's like, what is this? Did you bathe in wine? Like, what happened to you? And Sasha's like, can you please cancel it? Just, it doesn't matter why. Just cancel it. I am not up for this. And then Sasha's like, Goria's like, we can't cancel this. If you cancel it, all the crew get fucked over. Like, we're going.
Yeah.
I love that line. I thought you'd appreciate that line.
Yeah, no, I love that. I was like, yeah, there's a lot more people. There's budget, first of all, and then there's all these people who are showing up right now who were there before you because their call times are earlier.
They're already there, like setting this shit up. They're already there.
Yeah. They get treated less well than you do. And then to just be like, oh, we have to extend production now, which a lot of these jobs are freelance, where they go from job to job. So now that's pushing another job back. Like, this is literally screwing over so many people.
Right. So I love that
get your ass up.
I love that Goria's not having that. She's like, yeah, we're going. Like, no. She's like, go wash the wine off of you. We're leaving. But later, then we go through the photo shoot. Okay. And they're making eyes at one point because we can't stop flirting ever. And then when the photo shoot's like over, or like that part is over and they're setting up the next one, rather, Sasha's backstage, like laying on the couch, and Goria tries to bring her food. And then Goria asks, like, why are you so drunk? Like, what's wrong? Like, she notices. She's like, this is not normal for you. Like, I know you party and shit, but like, this is not normal. Like, what's wrong? And she tries to like engage with Sasha over it. In good faith, not to be an asshole about it. She's just like, I noticed you seem off. So I appreciate that Goria like did that, because nobody's looking out for Sasha, because like she doesn't have anybody. Like, Aunt was looking out, like ends up looking out for her later, but like she got home by herself. Like, she was just by herself. That room was a wreck. I'm like, what were you doing by yourself in this apartment? Like, there's like tissues everywhere. There's bottles of wine all over the place. Like, she's not okay. And so I appreciate that Goria like noticed that and was like, what's wrong? Like, tell me. But Sasha wouldn't engage with her. So then Goria is like, okay, you don't want to talk about this or whatever. So then she gives her the little like eye mask to like sleep in between. That was the fucking cutest thing ever. And like, it's way too cute and sweet that she already had that. So she like brought it, knowing that, like, thinking she would need it, which was adorable. I love that Goria did that. She like took the time to like make her a little face mask. It was like so cute.
Yeah, she definitely can anticipate her needs, and she's truly on her side. And yeah, she did a great job being her manager. So like,
she did.
It had to take a lot for Shasha to be like, no, I actually don't want you to be my manager anymore. Because like, she had to be like, oh, you're nagging me like a mother. Like, okay, I can use that to cut this off right now. Like, that's she's lucky that she got that opening, because she was doing a great job.
No, Goria was killing it. And that's, I think, what made it harder for Sasha. Because Sasha puts on that facade, you know, and Goria knows the facade. That's why she's always telling her, like, you put up fronts. Like, I know when you're doing, like, that's what I mean. I knew in this episode they were going to be at the stage where, like, they knew each other well enough to be like, you're full of shit right now. But I don't know why you're pushing this. And, like, Goria just got fed up. Like, but if you notice during that conversation when, like, Sasha's trying to fire her, at one point she's holding the mask. And then Goria asks, did I do something wrong? And Sasha, like, has to put the mask down because, like, no, Goria did everything right. Like, here's this tangible proof of, like, how much Goria cares and how good she is at taking care of Sasha, which is what Sasha wanted. And then she's like, I have to give this up because my ex-manager's an asshole predator. And then she, like, puts the thing, she can't even hold the thing anymore because it was so sweet what Goria did. And then she has to, like, be like the diva that everybody thinks she is. She goes back into that as the, you know, the front, right? And at some point, Goria gets pissed off enough that where she's like, this is why you don't have friends. Like, this attitude right here. You're going to cancel this, fuck the crew over. Like, this is why people don't like you. I'm leaving. And then she leaves. And, like, poor Sasha. She's like, who's already, like, I feel so alone. And then, like, oh, that was so crushing to, like, have to hear that from, like, the one person who was, like, a friend. And then, ugh.
Yeah.
What an impossible.
And watching her walk away.
Yes. And then have the mask still, the thing that shows that Goria cares. Like, I feel so bad for Sasha. Like, poor Sasha. Poor Sasha.
I just want the best for her.
I do want the best for her, but I think she's gonna have to deal with some angst because Crystal enters the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Crystal enters the chat in a huge way and is like, oh my God, this was hilarious. First of all, then we go to Blossom later, which I love. And she's up there talking about women with Crystal. So, like, these two idiots are still like, oh my God, they're funny. They're friends. And their friendship is actually really interesting. I like their friendship. Because it shows you that, like, exes can be friends and, like, have nothing between them, like, anymore. And, like, you can actually be friends with your ex in a healthy way. Not in a Prim and Bambi way, but in, like, an actual healthy way. It's going to get toxic because they're going to fight over the same girl. But, like, you can be friends with your ex. So anyway, so they're talking about women, and then Goria. I love how she's the center of attention. First of all, she deserves to be. Goria deserves to be.
Mm-hmm.
She deserves all this. She comes in, and if you notice when Goria enters the Blossom, she's looking up at the balcony when she first walks in, because that's where Sasha's usually hanging out. So she looks for Sasha immediately when she enters. And then she comes in and hangs out with her, like, stylist friend. And then Crystal and Sasha end up having the conversation where Crystal's like, did you guys break up? And Sasha's like, we were never together, so we can't break up. So that's true. And then Crystal's like,
it's
okay,
true.
She's like, okay, so, but, like, you still into her or whatever. Don't lie. I can see it in your fucking eyes. Crystal says this, and then Sasha lies 10 times, and she's like, I believe you now. I was like, because she's like, I can tell if you're lying to me if you're still into her. And then Sasha's like, oh, no, it was fleeting. I'm not into her anymore. I'm like, you can't read Sasha.
I feel like this whole thing is still set up. I don't think. Yeah, I think she sees and she's like, this girl needs to get.
I hope so.
Something needs to kick her in the ass. So I think it's just her trying to make her jealous.
If I was Crystal, I would also be into Goria. So I mean, it could be real. Like, could you?
It could be both. It could be like, well, hey, if she's not going to go for this, then I'm going for it.
I'm getting it. Like, I'm going to go get that. I mean, okay, so you're of the theory that Crystal is trying to do this because she's looking out for Sasha.
Yeah, either that or like part of it's probably like, well, okay, if you're going to let this beautiful woman go, then fine, I will take her.
Someone should.
But I feel like she does see through it. Like, because you can't look at her and, like, see her she broke when she asked her this. Like, her facade broke. So I think she knows.
What if Crystal and Bambi are in on this together? I feel like Bambi would also be like, these fucking idiots, I just want to knock their heads together. I want my best, again, she's the ride or die friend. She's like, my best friend needs to be fucking happy and get the woman of her dreams. Crystal, get in here. Like, we're going to set this up. It'd be really funny if later that gets revealed. Bambi's that friend. Is what I'm saying. Bambi's that friend. She would do extreme shit just to make you happy.
She would spend all the money in the world
just to make
that happen too.
She's like, you're my friend. let's burn this bitch to the ground to make you like that's Bambi. That'd be really funny. Watch that come true. I would love that. But anyway, regardless, Crystal is like, okay, well, if you don't want that hot woman over there, hot redhead, I'm gonna go get her. Watch me. And then proceeds to serenade the crowd at Block, which like where can I go to this gay bar? Because like you get like these amazing queer artists that come in and just do acoustics for free. You know what I mean? Like any excuse to have Emmy singing, period. That was lovely.
Yeah, I think that's really what it was.
I don't blame them. Okay, so then she comes in and starts singing and then uses that as an excuse to get Goria near her, which I love when she's like, shout out to the heroine in my music video. And it cuts to Goria and her friend. And I love that Goria's friend is like, pushes Goria on stage. Pushes her on stage. Because she could have met Sasha, who's also there. But no, the friend is like, it's you. And she pushes Goria on stage. And then they I don't know, man. They kind of have a moment where like Goria's kind of like enchanted, shall we say. Because how could you not be? Crystal is singing to you.
Yeah.
How could you not be? She's singing with you. She gave her the like that. That was expert level flirting, is what I'm saying. And it's irresistible flirting. Go watch Us the series. Just that's her move. That's her move, and it's expert level move. Okay, so like that's gonna develop in the next episode. So that like sets Sasha off on her binge drinking. It gets worse throughout like the fucking whole thing. And then by the end, so then we already went over the aunt saving her with Goria. One thing I want to say about her with Goria when they're in Aunt's apartment talking is that Goria initiates all of the physical contact in that scene. If you notice that, like Goria is very unguarded when Sasha's at her like lowest low, because she tells her in that's like be weak just for a day. Because she knows all the fronts that Sasha puts up to like make herself seem like she's invincible, like she's powerful, like no one can say no to me. Like she said to her like other friend, like Sasha said to her friend in like one of the episodes. Gosh, like Goria knows that's all like pretend. And so she's telling her like, you don't have to pretend right now. Like I'm literally here just for you. Like cry, just cry today. Be weak just for today. And like we'll pick things up and be strong tomorrow. But like you deserve to grieve and feel whatever you're feeling. And during that, like Goria does things where she like touches Sasha's shoulder. She like wipes her tears. Goria is the one that pulls Sasha into a hug. Like Goria does all of that, like emotional support stuff that Sasha needs. And like that alone speaks volumes. But then in that conversation, she also says the words, you're not alone. So like, I feel like that was a very validating scene for Sasha and like Goria, like both of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's just shows how much closer they're getting. That Goria is the one who's willing to initiate it.
Yeah. Right. It says a lot about where Goria's headspace, like you said. Yeah. She was emotionally unguarded when Sasha was very emotionally unguarded and was like, it's okay to stay unguarded with me right now. Right. Which is monumental. And then you get to the very end of the episode where they're at Goria's place on the balcony, I think is where they are. And they're just like chilling and having beer and celebrating the win. And that's when Goria's like social justice warrior side comes out. And she's like, that shit fires me up. And like, it's so funny. She's like, I'm fighting the man and that kind of stuff. How do you not love Goria? Goria's fucking cool as shit. I love her. She's so great.
Yeah. But also like in that scene, she's the one who invites, my God, Shasha. Sorry. Momentary lapse in names.
How dare you forget Sasha's name?
She's the one who invites her to sleep over. And this time Shasha's like, no. And she kind of wants to do it right, I feel like. And she's like, sometimes just having a beer and talking is good enough. And like doesn't stay over. And I just love that for her because she's like, I want this to be real, not just like a typical thing that she does, which is just sleeping with someone at night. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It shows that
yeah.
Goria is willing to have this relationship, and so is Shasha, because she wants to. This is the first time she really wants to do it right.
It's very indicative of many things, and you're absolutely correct. So in that conversation, Goria basically shows her hand, which Goria doesn't do, like, consciously. She does, but she doesn't mean to. She willingly shows her hand in multiple ways. So Sasha, like, when it starts, when Sasha, like, does the let me touch your mouth thing, and then Goria, what does Goria do? Goria just, like, walks away, which was weird, since Sasha's like, okay, I guess I shouldn't have done that, whatever. And she, like, looks out, and then Goria comes back with a t-shirt. Because remember, Sasha asked her for it, and she's like, here, I got the thing. Showing that, like, I remembered this thing that you asked me to do, and I, like, did it. Right? So showing she cares. Then it was so smooth as fuck where she's like, I mean, you have clothes. You might as well stay over. That was smooth as fuck. And Sasha's like, okay, so you're the one asking me to stay over now. And then Goria says, like, why pretend? Admitting that, like, every time she's, like, most of the times when she says no and she's putting up front, she's pretending she doesn't want to be with Sasha. But so that was revealed. And that's when it lingers on Sasha and, like, clicks for her. She's like, this is not one-sided. Because, like, the entire time for Sasha, she's like, and Goria in a way, they're both like, is this one-sided, or like, are you using me and I'm using you, or is this real? And so for Sasha, it clicks, oh, this is not one-sided. Like, and to your point, then she does the thing where she's like, first of all, then she goes to kiss her, and Goria is the one that leans into the most to, like, make the kiss happen. So it's mutual. And then is the one, to your point, who's like, she says, I want to stay over. I do. But I think not tonight. She's like, I think tonight needs to end like this. This feels right, is what she says. This feels right, that if we don't, and I just kiss you. And then she, like, is like, maybe some other time, and, like, goes home. And then it lingers on Goria. And so, like, and Goria kind of feels, I feel like Goria feels a little rejected because she put herself out there finally with Sasha and is like, and so, but, like, so I feel like some of what Sasha's saying might get missed because Goria might be a little triggered by all the rejection in her life. Because she finally put herself out there and, like, kind of got rejected in a way. And so I feel like that's going to play into the next episode a little bit. But I'm to your point, I'm very proud of Sasha, because Sasha, I think, was trying to show, like, you mean more to me than just, like, this is not a casual thing, without saying those words. Yeah.
Exactly.
And for Girl Rules, whoever is doing the soundtrack, the scoring of the show, you deserve all the awards, because, like, that song that ends on them was utter perfection. Like, oh god, it's so good.
Yeah, it was a great song.
All the songs are good, but that one was beautiful. Okay, I only have one more question about this episode before we, I guess, transition into, like, what's going to the previews and stuff is, and now that I'm thinking about this shit, now that we have the context of Sasha's trauma, where did Wansen get the blackmail photo from? How did she get that? In the other episode where she blackmails her, she shows her, the photo was what that dude took. How'd she get that?
I think they might have worked together in that episode. Not episode, but, like, that time. So, like, she knew exactly what he was about to do. So he told her straight up.
Yeah, I wonder if she knew then and got it then and was like, I'll keep this just in case. Or if she, like, is still buddy-buddy with him and is like, can I have that? So that shows you how fucked up she is, that she knew he had it and went and got it.
It had to have been that second one because she didn't play it right away. It took her a little while. So I think she got to him. Even if they weren't, like, close right now, she had a way to contact him and was just like, hey, I need to take someone down.
That's fucked up that she knew that. So meaning she knew some fuck shit was going to happen back there. That's how she got it. And she got it. I agree with you. I don't think she had it right away, but she got it pretty quickly. Because it was like later, there was like 24 hours she had it.
Yeah.
That's real fast if she didn't know that existed. So that's so fucked
And
up.
the fact that still exists.
Also that. Oh, this just shows you how gross all these fucking people are. Oh, they're so gross. She deserves to get arrested. They all need to get arrested.
Yeah,
Ugh.
expose him.
Right, expose him. I hope he was also getting a subpoena, not just one cent.
Yeah.
Probably not, because the men always get away with it. But still, like, fuck. Like, goddamn. Okay. I just had to throw that out there because I was just like, interesting.
Yeah.
That you got a hold of this.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, it's fucked up. All right. Are you ready to jump into previews, predictions? All right. Start us off. What you got?
All right. So I basically summarized each storyline that we see.
Got it.
So the first one we're seeing is Min being told that she can only have Prim as a friend who's into girls.
And it was Praew saying that.
I couldn't tell who was saying that.
It's Praew. Well, it's Min was saying it, and then the response is the line after that is from Praew, who is basically saying the way things work in queer lady world is whenever there's a new woman, because everything's incestuous and we're a small community. When somebody new shows up, they're the hot new item and everybody has to have them.
Interesting.
Do you want to go through all of them or start with that and talk about it?
No, I'll go through it real quick. Aries still being a homewrecker and getting in between Prim and Bambi.
100%.
Prim still isn't doing anything about Aries' advances.
No.
And I have a whole thing about them.
Oh, thank God. That's the one that pisses me off the most.
So I'm going to skip the rest about Prim and Bambi and Aries. And then Shasha is trying to make Goria her exclusive stylist, which I think is code for girlfriend.
It is, because Crystal is making moves.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And then Goria at the end is like, being able to choose is kind of fun. All right, so which plot line do you want to start with? Do you want to start with the A plot, B plot, or C plot?
Let's do A plot.
All right, get in the A plot, Prim and Bambi and Aries.
Okay, so my prediction between all the scenes that we've got of them is that I assume, because what we didn't talk about is that at the conference thing.
Oh shit! Yeah, we forgot to talk about this. Let's talk about this real quick.
Bambi's puts her purse down. We see something fall out, and then later reveals that a bottle of pills also fell out that conveniently Aries found and put her foot over, so Bambi didn't know that she dropped that.
All right. You want me to talk about the pills?
Sure.
I can.
Yes, you can.
Okay, so Bambi has a prescription for alprazolam or Xanax. And basically, it's a drug. She gets 100 milligram tablets, and it is used for anxiety, which is not shocking. Which is like, I thought she was on worse drugs, to be honest, like more severe drugs than that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking into it, and I was like, because for those that don't know, I am a licensed pharmacist in America, so this is actually something I know a lot about. So I was looking at the bottle, and I was like, okay, the bottle's in English, because Bambi just came from overseas. So my brain was like, who is prescribing this? Because I looked it up, and in Thailand, it's a second-tier controlled substance, which, to my understanding, means like in Thailand, specifically, you can only get a 30-day supply of it at a time. So somebody has to keep prescribing it. So I was like, okay, well, she's not, it's in English. Like, did she get it overseas? Can they prescribe English labels in Thailand? Turns out in Thailand, you can get prescriptions like in English, like on the pill bottle. Cause like there's laws about like what can be on the prescription bottle, like there's all kinds of stuff that like legally can or cannot be on this thing. So I was like, if you're in Thailand, it doesn't have to be in the native Thai language. Like, can it be in another language? Turns out you can get prescriptions in English. So it's possible Bambi went to see the therapist to get her Xanax. That's my thought. That's what I think is happening. I think she's seeing the therapist to get the pills. Because apparently you can only get 30 days of time, which is different than in America. But during the episode, when Aries takes the bottle, you see her like looking at it and then like typing on her phone and look shocked. And I'm like, are you Googling what Xanax is? Because like that's not shocking, honestly.
But I think it's the mental health issue part of it, because like there's
is
a stigma on
anxiety-
there.
Is it? And maybe in Thailand there's the stigma for anxiety. I feel like every human has anxiety. Is that really? Maybe in Thailand, maybe that's what this is. And they're like, you have mental. I was like, of all the things wrong with Bambi, like anxiety is like the lowest thing. You know what I mean? I thought she'd be on worse drugs, like the show that she's more unstable than just having anxiety.
Yeah.
That was surprising to me. I'm like, this is shocking. This is actually not shocking.
But I'm also wondering where they're gonna go with that, because
I think
my
go. You go. I have thoughts.
So like my read on this is that I assume Aerie tells Prim about the drugs, which is now Xanax, and then Prim confronts Bambi about it. And this is when we get the Bambi scene where she reacts badly and is lashing out saying, you still believe her? Like she's proven that she can't be trusted and all that. And then so like I think that that's how that sequence goes. And so then, well, now it's not that bad of a drug, so I don't know what's going on.
That's where I'm confused. I don't think that's the full story, to be honest with you. Yeah, because I was like, this is Xanax. Like, this is not a big
Maybe
deal.
it's just like, maybe she gets a hold of like worse drugs, because I feel like Prim finds Bambi after using drugs, or maybe like even right before. And Prim, like, then we get that scene where like she consoles Bambi and tells her like she will help her through it.
I hope and think I think what happens is Aerie starts going down a Google rabbit hole when it comes to Bambi. And I think she uncovers all the demons and all the skeletons in the closet. I think she uncovers the accident, I think she uncovers all that shit about Bambi. Which Prim knows about. Okay? And who knows what else she finds. And I think that what happens is that again, Prim and Bambi don't talk about their problems. They don't talk about trauma. So the only way those two are going to talk about the trauma is if somebody else forces them to. So I think Aerie is the agent of chaos that is going to force Prim and Bambi to talk about Bambi's trauma. I think that's what's going to happen. It's going to go very badly because you saw Bambi. So I think that Aerie uncovers all this shit and then tells Prim. She might start with the drugs and be like, I found this. I found this. Here, you should give this back to Bambi. And then Prim's like, oh shit, what is this? I didn't know my girlfriend was on meds. And then maybe Aerie lets things slip that she's found in her Google search or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so it forces Prim to then fucking talk to Bambi about their fucking problems, right? And it just goes poorly because they're bad at it. And like, who knows what else Aerie's gonna say to her to have Bambi be like, you still fucking believe her over me? Because who knows if Bambi's being truthful? Because Bambi's also not talking about the trauma elephant in the room. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just feel like it's going to expose the fact that these two can't communicate, and Aerie's going to like force them to see the trauma in the room that they're both ignoring, and it's just going to blow up. And I truthfully, I think there's other shit going on with Bambi that goes beyond anxiety, to be honest with you. And so there's like one clip where like Bambi's on the floor, like clutching her heart, and like Prim's with her. And so I think that like Bambi's ended up in the hospital. I really do. I really think it's ended that way. But
she might be having a panic attack.
She might be having a panic attack because she doesn't have her fucking Xanax, because Prim probably has it because Aerie probably gave it to her. So who knows? I feel like they're gonna implode and like probably break up in the next couple of episodes, and like because I think we're gonna get to the part where I think the way they're pacing shit is they're like, okay, the B plot's getting real cute. All right, the B plot is gonna, I think by episode 10, Goria and Sasha will be dating for real. And so again, I think they're paced that on purpose because they're like, Prim and Bambi are going to implode like around now. We're getting into Act 3. So we just ended Act 2. We're going into Act 3. I think in Act 3, they implode because they have to fucking deal with the trauma. And it's not going to go well because they're both horrible at talking about shit. And you have Aerie, who's the one intervening, who is not in good faith doing this. Right? Aerie's trying to get Prim. And Prim is ignoring the fact that this person is willfully ignoring the fact that this person is into her. And like, based on the conversation, like she's not believing Bambi. Like, it's like, Yeah, they're gonna implode. Like, I feel like that's where that's headed. Because they have to, because nothing in their relationship has changed since the first round of dating. Other than Bambi has a bunch of fucking trauma now. And Prim is in a position where she can hire women, surround herself with women who are into her and pretend like they're not. That's the only thing that's actually changed in their relationship. So their relationship has to have some change, and I think this is going to be it. I think this is going to be a big focus of like the end of like Act 3 of this story. Because we haven't dealt with them.
I hope there's more going on, and I hope that they don't just go with, oh, anxiety's really bad. Like how, like, no, there's nothing wrong with you. You can overcome this.
I really don't think that's what it is. I really think that it's just going to be like, it's a little thing that's going to force Prim and Bambi to talk about Z's death. Right? Because why does Bambi have anxiety? Is Prim going to ask her, why do you have anxiety? Or like, what, like, you know, like, why? Because then that forces Bambi to talk about the trauma, right? You know what I mean? I feel like it's just going to be a catalyst to get to the trauma, the thing we're not fucking talking about. I think, because remember, anxiety is the symptom, not the problem. The problem is the trauma we're dealing with. We have to get to the fucking trauma. So like, this is going to be, we have to drag these two idiots into therapy somehow. And like, this is the thing that's going to kind of get them close to that, I think. I don't think it's going to be stigmatizing anxiety. I think it's just going to be like, it's going to open the door to be like, what's behind the anxiety door? Oh, death. Like, I think we have to get to the death.
Sorry, the way you said that. Oh, it's death.
It's true. It's true. We have to get to the death. We have to talk about the fucking trauma. And we have to talk about the fact that Prim used gaslighting fucking Bambi.
Seriously, that's awful.
Seriously, it's awful. Prim keeps doing it. So I'm very curious to see what this fight is where Bambi is so worked up and she's like saying that you believe this two-faced motherfucker and not me. I can't wait for that fight because they suck at communicating. I'm very curious what the rest of that is about. But yeah, I think they're about to implode. I think they're going to implode because the other plot, I mean, the C plot might be slightly imploding, but like the A plots, I'm going to implode because they have to change. And they will not, they've shown us for 8 episodes, they will not do it on their own. Some kind of external intervention has to happen for them to deal with their shit.
You're not wrong.
I'm not wrong. So I think that's the A plot. The A plot's going to implode thanks to Aerie and her fucked up shit. But from Aerie's point of view, what do you really think is going to happen here? Do you really think that
she's delusional?
Prim's going to choose you after all this shit? She's definitely delusional. She has to be. Either, to your point, either she's like on a revenge mission for Z somehow. Maybe she is. Maybe she knew Z and is like trying to get revenge on Bambi or whatever. For fucking her, killing her friend in her, in her brain.
Yeah.
But then the badminton thing seemed a little, it was all weird the way that, unless she just lies all the time and it was lying to her friend.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, because
pathological liar.
Yeah, maybe she's pathological. She needs to be in therapy. Take them.
They all need therapy.
Know, but the A plot needs the most therapy. The C plot, I would argue, the C plot doesn't need therapy. I think they're okay because they're good at talking. They can talk through their problems. I think they don't need a therapist. I think they're okay. The B plot could use some therapy. The A plot,
Sasha needs some therapy.
The A plot for the good of humanity needs therapy. Like they're a danger to society. The A plot.
Yes, they're a workplace hazard.
They're a workplace hazard. They're a hazardous to Thailand. So throw them in therapy. They're not okay and they're gonna harm others. Okay, so that's the A plot. Anything else about the A plot? I think they're going to start imploding, and that's going to be where this is going. They're going to be like, we can get through this, and then they don't. Unless somebody changes, you can't get through this together. Unless like the focus now is like everybody that takes a village to get these two idiots to like get their shit together, like what they do with Sasha. Like everybody gets together and be like, y'all need an intervention. What the fuck is wrong with you?
End up together.
I don't want them to end up together. I do not want Prim and Bambi to end up together. It's a shame because when they're cute, they're very cute. They are cute. Like when they were hanging out in the bathtub and just like being cute, like they're cute, but they should not be together. They need to be friends, in my opinion.
Even if they end up together, they're gonna break up. Like they can't get more than 10 years together, and that is really set like pushing it.
They're just gonna be toxic forever unless they change.
Yeah.
Anyway, B plot or C plot? Where would you like to go to next?
Let's just go in alphabetical order. B plot.
The B plot's the best one though. C plot's real fast. Let's do the C plot. Because the B plot's the best one.
Then don't ask me, Theora.
I don't know if you had notes.
No, I said everything I had, so we're just going.
All right, got it. So in the C plot, because sequentially the C plot is next in the thing. So because the implication is like, okay, so from the line from actually C plot was first, where Min was like, I can't have friends like queer friends that aren't prim. And then Praew answers with like, well, you know, in queer world, when a new queer person comes out, everybody wants them because it's a limited dating pool and like everyone's all excited. That's the hot new item, right? So that's when you can get the most women is when you first come out because they all want you. Okay, so I think what that's implying is, again, not the typical comp head plot line because we now have Oil, who's in the mix, who's into Min. Which, by the way, that was hilarious at the club where this woman is hitting on Min. Min doesn't know what's going on. And Prim is actually one of my favorite Prim moments. Prim has a shit-eating grin on her face.
Yeah.
I know what this girl's into Min. And Min's like, what do you want to do? She's like, go to the spa. Anyway.
So what'd you think I meant?
Yeah. Why you gotta phrase it that way? Yeah. Anyway, that was hilarious. So I think this is a really interesting C plot because basically now Min's in this position where, you know, her big thing this episode, remember she goes to get Boom or she goes to get Praew and Boom has her hand on Praew and Min's like, that's mine. And she like runs in and is like telling Praew, she's like, listen, you opened up my world. I'm going to open up yours now. So she says that line. So implying that like in this plot line, basically Min basically has her eyes, she sees color for the first time now that she has, the Praew has shown her the way, right? She's looked behind the curtain and was like, wow, I'll never be the same again, right? But behind the curtain, there's all these other women, okay? It's not just Praew behind the curtain. There's a whole host of queer ladies that blossom, and one of them is now interested in Min, somebody who's of the same age as Min, because that's what I got from that conversation, because they're all kind of working together in the entertainment industry, so she's like probably of the age that they are, where she's established in her career, making money versus Praew, who's like trying to break in, right? They're in different stages of their lives. Because that's part of Praew and Min's like conflict, right? Is that they're not indifferent. They're not on the same like career level, age range, or age level, that kind of stuff. So here's somebody who is Min's equal for all intents and purposes, right? Who comes in and is suddenly interested in. So now Min is going to be in the situation where she's like, am I into Praew or did Praew just show me I'm queer? And like,
yeah.
Right. So then I think Praew is threatened where she's like, fuck, there's this woman who's your age who's like established in her career who can like buy you shit. And like, I think Praew's gonna get more threatened and be like, that she's hanging out with Min kind of thing. And I think that's maybe where that line comes from. I think. Or my brain, the first time I read it, was like taking in these scenes was like this could be out of context and they have two lines next to each other that have nothing to do with each other, and like maybe Min's talking to her mom and her mom's like, Prow's not allowed over here anymore. Prim's enough, and she's like, I can only have one queer friend, like it could be that, and they just like put those lines together out of context.
Yeah, you can't see who she's talking to, and it kind of,
I think it is Praew, like, but it could be somebody else. It could be somebody else because of the hair, like, because there's somebody's hair.
Yeah.
But again, this could all be taken out of context
for her family too.
That's what I mean. This could be an out of context line, but like, it's either about Praew and Min's relationship, which I think is more likely, or it's the family. I don't think they're going to bring the family back again because we don't really have time to go through the family again. But could be. But I think it's more so that's their dilemma where Min's going to have to choose, like, do I explore? Because like, what an interesting scenario, what a weird scenario for her to be in. She's like, do I explore my sexuality, or just like, am I confident that Praew is like a long-term partner? You know, because she's just like, this is all new for her. You know, so like, it's an interesting kind of thing for Min to have to navigate, and understandably, Praew is going to be like insecure about it.
Yeah, totally. I have to stop.
I know, the dog.
Okay, thank you. The face of shame.
Face of shame.
Say sorry. Lay down.
My little baby. We almost done. All right. So that was the C plot. Then the B plot. That's going to be the fun plot. So I think this is going to be the last episode of the Will They Won't They with Sasha and Goria. Personally, I think they get together by episode 10. Because there's scenes from the pilot or the trailer of them being cute and shit. And I think those were headed that way. Because the A plot's going to blow up. That would make sense.
We got enough drama with them.
We got to balance. The A plot's going to shine at the end. They're going to go through it. Okay. I feel like that's where this is headed. But okay, so then the B plot. So what's going on with the B plot? What's going on with the B plot is that Crystal's into Goria, okay, and is going to make that very clear that she's into Goria, okay? And then Sasha wasn't super clear the last time they were together. So Goria's going to be in this position where she has a choice, and Goria's never had a choice before, okay, which I think is unique to Goria because in all of her relationships, it's like she chooses somebody and they don't choose her. Or remember when like the first time she meets Prim, she's getting bullied because somebody else's girlfriend was trying to like cheat on their girlfriend with like it was in Goria's DMs, and Goria's like, I don't encourage this behavior. Like your girlfriend is making moves on me. She's never the sole focus of anybody. But suddenly Goria is going to be the sole focus of two baddies, okay? And so I think the whole episode is going to be Goria reveling in that. And you know what, Goria? You deserve it, girl. Like, you deserve it. You deserve it. I know that Sasha is the love of your life and also mine. And it's okay that you put her through it for an episode because you deserve it. You've been through some shit.
She really has.
She's been through some shit. She's been through some shit. So I think that she's going to have to choose. And Sasha's going to be jealous, obviously, because they have an emotional connection and they've been through some stuff together at this point. And I think she's like, I thought I was making myself clear, but maybe I wasn't. Because I think Goria I think Goria felt a little rejected that Sasha didn't take the invitation because she told Sasha that like, she's like, nobody can just come to my house. Like only real people who are actually close to me will I invite in my house.
Yeah.
And she said to Sasha to like dig at her one time, she's like, don't you know the people closest to you are the most dangerous? They can hurt you. So like basically Goria was saying you're close to me and I feel close to you. And Sasha was like, love that, but I'm going to go. So I feel like Goria's a little hurt. And so like, here's Crystal, right? And like, it's Crystal. Like, would you blame Goria? It's like, Goria, if you want to like fool around with Crystal for an episode, I won't be mad at you for that, to be honest. I won't be mad. You want to test it out? Test it out. I think that's fine. But I think by the end of that, I think she's going to choose Sasha. So I think we're going to have sad girl Sasha for one more episode. Goria finally being the center of attention that she deserves to be and getting a choice. And then, yeah, is going to make the choice. Like they're going to choose each other by the end of the episode, I think is where that's headed personally.
Yeah, and maybe I think that's plausible.
Maybe you'll get the reveal that like Crystal was like, that was my master plan all along, and her and Bambi high five.
I think it'd be like, yeah, that was my master plan. But if I could get her too, I wouldn't be mad.
I will not say no to making out with a hot woman. That's, you know, if I had to make out with her for you, vibes. Sasha. You know what I mean? I'm such a good friend. I'm such a good friend. But yeah. I think that's where that's, and then I think they'll be together by the rest of the episodes, and then like while everybody else is going through their. So I'm very curious what Min's gonna do. I think that's the plot line I'm most curious about because I really don't know. I really can't predict that plot line, which makes it very fun. But I don't know what Min's gonna do. I don't know. Do you have any thoughts about Min? Idea. Is she gonna do anything with oil? Is she gonna stick it out with Praew?
I don't think so.
To which question?
I don't think she'll do anything with oil. I think she's going to find herself in a situation where she doesn't know, not necessarily how to say no, but like be like, I don't know what to do in this situation because this is
new. Yeah,
this everything is new for her.
Everything's new. That's their song. That's their OST. Yeah, it's all new.
So
Yeah.
I really don't know.
I don't know. I really don't know.
She's
And
a
then
wild card.
She's a wild card, and then I don't know how Prow's gonna handle this because she's fiery,
I feel like Prow's gonna be very possessive and
very jealous, and very understandably insecure about this because she's like, I'm still the hidden girlfriend that you won't tell people about, and then you're gonna go hang out with this girl who's clearly into you. It's more understandable for Prow to be upset about this than not upset because, like, yeah. She's already like, I don't have the status that I want. If I had the status, people would back off. But like, yeah.
yeah.
I think that's going to fuel her insecurity. Understandably so. Like, so.
It would even suck more is if they got to be like friends and she brought oil around her family really quickly.
Yeah. You know what else would really suck is if Aerie decides to blow up everybody's lives and like outs Min. You know what I mean? Like fucks up everything. You know what I mean? If she can't get Prim and she just goes on this like bender of
Honestly,
hatred.
she could.
She definitely could.
I do not like her, which sucks because I love Pang.
I love Sizey's doing a great job. I don't hate Aerie. She's the agent of chaos, but I feel like she's gonna do a bunch of damage.
Yeah.
People be like that sometimes. But anyway, so that's what we got. Episode 8 was really epic. I hope you enjoyed it too. If we missed anything, leave it in the comments. If you have any thoughts about what's going to go on from here on out, please let us know. And who knows when we'll be back. So until then, hydrate for lesbian Jesus.
And gay it up all over the place.
Bye.
Bye. I'm totally foreseeing a text message on Monday being like, hey, can we film Thursday?
No, I won't make you do that.